Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California. My firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. In this video, I want to talk about what it means to have a conflict of interest. It's one of those terms I think that you may see on TV, you may hear about in the news, but a lot of people, especially potential clients of the firm, people who find themselves in need of a criminal defense lawyer or criminal defense law firm, they really have a hard time understanding it, at least at first glance. So I want to do this video to help you understand a little bit about what it means in the course of a criminal case. A conflict of interest would be where a law firm cannot continue to represent a current client, cannot take a potential client, or a combination of the two. And where we see it a lot of times is more often on the front end. So let's assume a hypothetical situation where husband and wife are accused of a crime. Wife calls the firm, starts speaking to our team, and then discovers, hey, okay, my husband's charged too, or my husband's under investigation too. Can you guys meet with him as well? And sometimes some firms may say, yeah, sure, come on in with a conflict waiver. Like a conflict waiver undoes everything, and it doesn't, right? What we will do is we will say, okay, listen, before we go any further, let's establish which one of you, if any, the firm would potentially be representing, and then we'll be more than happy to refer your husband, your wife, whoever, the other person, the other accused, the other co-defendant, to a reputable criminal defense law firm. Because so many times in co-defendant cases, what is in one defendant's interest may not be in the other's, okay? So, the most extreme example would be if someone wants to flip on the other person. Right? And I know this doesn't happen a lot, certainly not in a husband and wife or good friends context. But, how do you represent two people when it's in one's best interest to say something about the other person that is also your client? And that's a concern. And that's why we are very, very hands-off when it comes to that type of stuff, because we don't want anything to do with it, because we want to be able to help one person as opposed to wind up being able to help none if a conflict develops. And it's also not fair to both of our clients, right? We're not giving 100% to any client if each client's interest may not be perfectly aligned. And even if they're perfectly aligned at the beginning of a case, they might not be perfectly aligned in the middle of the case. They might not be perfectly aligned at the end of the case. Another type of conflict that we see sometimes is where, maybe for an example, we get a call and someone is calling and they're accusing someone of a crime. And we may have represented that person previously that they're accusing. So that will be difficult to get involved in that situation, where obviously we're not going to give advice to person A who's making a claim or as a witness against person B. We can't represent person A if we represented person B previously. So there's many types of things, and you want to be mindful of that, right? A lot of times potential clients will get put off. Well, what do you mean? Well, why I got to pay for two lawyers? This is ridiculous. Listen, we get it, right? It's an unexpected expense. It's an unexpected consequence of, unfortunately, being charged with a crime, whether justified or not. But now is not the time to say, oh, maybe I could get, instead of paying $10,000 for one, I could get two for, $12,500, and, that's a good deal. And okay, the same lawyer could do both. It's really not the time to be looking to cut corners. And more important than you looking or you not looking to cut corners should be, it's not the time where the law firm you're going to hire should be cutting corners when it comes to ethics, cutting corners when it comes to just making a quick buck, cutting corners when it comes down to, doing what's in the best interest for each and every one of their clients, and not putting themselves, and more importantly, their clients, in a tough position where they're not getting 100% of their attorney in that law firm's attention and that attorney in that law firm's commitment. So that's my little primer on what it means to have a conflict of interest, why we're obviously on top of it here at this firm, why it's something we ask for, and that's part of the screening process as well. We'll ask a lot of questions, our assistants will ask a lot of questions in that first phone call just to determine whether or not there's a conflict, and if there is, we can point you in the right direction outside of our firm and put you in good hands. If you have any questions about a conflict of interest, any questions all about a criminal case in San Diego, feel free to reach out to my firm, 619-295-3555.